Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you a cool new feature inside the AI Mastery app. And that is to be able to use function calling directly inside of chat completions. Now, normally this is nothing special, right? Because you can already do this if you're pretty much a developer background. But for the users who are not that tech savvy, we decided to bring this inside the AI Mastery app in a really easy way. The way to do this, and I just have two actions for the draft version, but let's create a new one because I just published the app. If we go towards the actions, then go towards integrations, scroll all the way down, and we will have AI Mastery by CMA version 1.8. So that is the newest version. If we're going to take a look here, by edit the actions, we will have the call functions on chat completions. Now, this is a really easy way to provide function calling inside of ChatGPT. What is function calling? For the ones who do not know what it is, it allows you to basically grab certain parameters that you can use in a later sequence of your automation, right? So for example, for appointment bookings, we might want to capture the user's name, the date, the time, and then continue with the automation. For example, to be able to book the actual appointment using either a third-party platform or directly inside of the platform you're currently in. For me, that is UChat. So that is one use case. So another use case could be that you want to capture the lead details like email, phone number, and name. And after the capture, you would release your freebie towards that user. For example, an ebook or template or something like that. So this has been made really simple inside of this chat completion call functions. First of all, you can select your model. I will just go with GPT-4 Turbo. Then we have a system message. So let's assume inside the system message, let's create an appointment booking, right? And I actually already have an example of the system message, so I don't have to write anything myself. So let's go towards the example. Let's just copy and paste this in. And let's go towards the actual action. So let's go with call functions again. Inside the system message, we will have something like this, as you can see here. Then the prompt will be the last text input from the user, so let's use that. The chat history you can save towards a JSON field, and let's just call the chat history for now. There we go. And now we get to the actual function. So the really cool thing is inside the mini app you can build the function that you need. So let's create an appointment booking function, right? So let's call this appointment booking. There we go. Function is collect all needed parameters to create a successful, let's say successful appointment. So for the parameter choice, we have a drop down to select how many parameters that we want to capture. So how many data sets. For the appointment booking, let's go with the first name, which is 1, the date is 2, and the time is 3. So let's go with 3. And then we just fill in the data. So for example, first name, right? First name. Then for the parameter description, number 1, let's say this will be the first name of the user. Then for parameter 2, let's go with date. Let's say date of the appointment. Now we can go with parameter 3 and let's say time. Description will be time of the appointment, right? So just to give a little bit more context on the actual parameter that we need to fetch. Appointment. There we go. So parameters 4 and 5 I will just leave blank because we don't need them at this moment. And now we can map certain data sets. So for the AI response, I'm going to map it as such. So AI response, there we go. For the history, we can go with the actual history that we have, right? There we go. Then we have the status. So let's go with the status custom field because that's an important one where we need to check the status after this, basically this chat completion. So let's go with the status and then we have the function complete JSON. And this will only contain value at the moment that all parameters have been captured, right? So that is the purpose of this JSON field. If we're going to take a look then, so let's just go with this example and let's just, let's just delete these two because they are not needed at the moment. There we go. And let's connect this towards this part, so the condition status. So if the status has been set towards complete, that means that we have all the parameters. So I'm just going to output it, but you can of course save all the parameter details towards specific custom fields if you so wish, and then continue your automation. If the status is not complete, that means that we still need to ask an additional question. And that is exactly what we're going to do inside of this question field. And then we're just going to loop around, as you can see, going to loop around until the status has been set towards complete. And from there, we're going to output basically all the parameters that we captured. So now that we set this flow up, let's preview it as well. So let's go and preview inside of a pop-up, just as easy. And let's see if this works. So let's say something like, I would like to book an appointment. Are you able to help me? So let's see what kind of response that we get back. It takes a few seconds to formulate a response because ChatGPT needs to be able to check which parameter to ask for first. And as you can see, first things first, could you tell me your first name? Let's say, sure, it's Mark. So now it should ask for the next parameter, and that is the date. And as you can see, because we set something really fun inside the system message, we pulled basically in some dynamic data slots, as you can see here, which we just pulled in by random in this case, but you can also pull these in from your own calendar, for example, and just put them inside the system message. You can now see that it is calling and basically giving the dates, right? So let's say November 8th, please. And let's see if ChatGPT also recognizes that this is not a provided date to book an appointment for. It should, but let's see and test if this solution works properly. As you can see, oh, I'm so sorry, Mark, but it seems we don't have an availability on November 8th. So let's say, okay, no worries. Let's do November 7th then. Now it should only display the time slots for November 7th. So let's see if that works as well. It takes a few seconds to basically grab and reformat all of these details. I'm also using ChatGPT 4 to ensure more stability on this function calling. And as you can see, these are the available time slots for this specific date. So as we take a look, 12 a.m. all the way up to 11:30 a.m. So if we're going to take a look inside and search for November 11, you will see that we have midnight all the way to 11:30. So it actually pulls all the available time slots. So that is great. Let's say, okay, 9:30 a.m. sounds perfect. So now we get a confirmation. You've got it. We will schedule your appointment for November 7 at 9:30 a.m. Almost done. Let me just confirm the details and I'll book it in for you. Yes, please. So now we should get all the parameters back. So let's see if that works. And here we have it, right? We have the first name, we have the date set to return into a specific format, and then we have the time 9:30, and this is the time offset. So we get all the available parameters back, which is fantastic, of course, and allows us to capture the details. We can save this towards any custom field of our own choosing, and it allows you to continue the automation directly to create the actual appointment, and it's being asked in a really conversational way. So this dynamic function creation inside the mini app action allows you to create dynamic functions, and any kind of function where you need to grab user details will work, right? So we have the function name, the function description. You're going to choose between the number of parameters that you need to capture. In order to create a successful function, the minimum is 1, and for now the maximum is set to 5, which I think covers 90% of all use cases. And then we will have the parameter name, a little bit of a description, and then for the rest of the parameters, it's exactly the same way. And this allows you to use function calling inside of ChatGPT without having the technical knowledge that you otherwise would need to implement this inside of API calls and such. So I hope that this action inside the Mastery app helps you in creating more fun and more advanced kinds of setup inside of your chatbots. And if you have any questions, do let me know. Next week, I'm going to add a few more actions, including the regular chat completions for OpenAI and some others as well. If you have any suggestions for a new AI platform I can integrate inside of this mini app, do let me know. Send me a PM on my messenger and provide the necessary API documentation and certain credentials so I can test it and implement it inside the mini app. For now, have a great day, take care, and talk soon.